Have you ever seen a €1 house? On today's video, that is exactly what I'm going to be showing you. So stick around if you are keen to see what a €1 house looks like. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca and I bought a cheap house on the island of Sardinia here in Italy. And I'm here to share with you what it's like to live here, as well as buy a property and renovate it. Today, I'm bringing you a video that's a little bit different. I wanted to show you what a €1 house actually looks like. If I'm honest myself, I'd only really heard about what it actually looks like to go into and to see a €1 house. And it was a little bit scary, if I'm honest. I've been into houses that are 10,000 euros, that are 14, 15,000 euros. And as you know, I bought my place, which needs a lot of work, needs renovations, but is livable for 26,000 euros. So I wanted myself to see it in person, and I thought I'd take you along for the journey. Now, I heard about €1 houses many, many years ago. In fact, it was my father who planted the seed, potentially in 2018 or 2019. We were having a conversation. I was back at home visiting when I was living in Shanghai. And I remember him telling me about the fact that you could buy a house in Italy for €1. And I thought the prospect of that sounded so exciting, especially if I had someone by my side to do it with me. And because he was suggesting it, I thought maybe there was a piece of him that wanted to do it. But that wasn't to be the case. When I was 17, I went to Italy for a year, and it really did change my life. It changed my life because it introduced to me this huge part of my lineage that comes from Italy. I was introduced to my father's family that all live in Italy, and I had this experience for 1 year living in this culture. Because of that, I ended up studying Italian at university, and I became qualified to teach Italian and also teach English. Now, I never really taught Italian all that much because I love teaching English to foreigners so much that's what I did. But having those experiences, particularly that very first one when I was 17, really cracked open something within me. And ever since that experience, I wanted to go back to Italy. So I came back 2 or 3 more times after that, sometimes for holidays, and one other time to live and work, which is where I met my friend, who then came to Sardinia and introduced me to Sardinia. And now I'm here. So I always had the desire to move here. And I thought maybe I could live 6 months in Italy and 6 months in Australia. That would be a really ideal lifestyle. Is that possible? And that way also I can avoid the winters, like the really cold period of winter, by just moving backwards and forwards. Fast forward however many years later, and I bought a house in Italy. Now, I didn't buy the €1 house, but it has been something I've been so curious about for so many years. And it really is what propelled me here, because I thought, okay, there are cheap houses here. I can definitely afford that. I can definitely make that work. And I want to live in Italy. So let's do it. But I was always really scared. I was always scared because I was on my own and I didn't really feel confident enough to make that decision and do it on my own, which is why having my friend to kind of give me that push to come here helped so much. And who knows, maybe that's the reason she came into my life, to be the person to give me the courage to actually follow through on something that I wanted to do. So as I said, somewhere around 2017, 2018, 2019, my dad told me about €1 houses. In 2020, when the pandemic happened, I remember having a 3-way conversation with my friend, the one who moved here as well, and my other friend, who I also met in Italy in 2006 when I was teaching there. And I remember us talking about how cool it would be to buy a €1 house and maybe we could do it together. And that, of course, lit me up again. And I guess in those moments, every single time I talked about or thought about or dreamt about living in Italy, a €1 house, I was kind of like watering that seed. You know, they talk about how when things unfold in your life, they didn't just unfold. I mean, sometimes they do, but usually we've thought about them. Usually we've been dreaming about them for quite a while. And every time we thought about it, every time we desired it, every time we dreamt about it, every time we wrote about it, every time we spoke with someone about it, we were watering that seed, and that seed was growing. And so this is where I find myself now, here in Italy. And I guess we've got like a little tree now because I bought a house in Italy. But I digress. The €1 house. In all of that time, when I had heard about these €1 houses, I had gone online, gone onto YouTube, searched for €1 houses, and I found lots of different articles about it. I found lots of people selling €1 houses. The one thing I really couldn't find was what a €1 house looks like. Nobody had made like a full video of a €1 house, like what it's like to go inside that €1 house. Oh, there are murmurations of birds. Amazing. And so when I was trying to do my research, when I was trying to find more information about €1 houses, I kept looking online and looking on places like YouTube to see, what do these actually look like? What am I getting myself into? Is a €1 house even a house at all? What is there to work with? What is there to do? Is this just a crazy dream? And is it too good to be true? So I asked around in this town where I bought a house for more information about where these €1 houses are. And I was informed that there were about 3 of them here still. One I know is definitely for sale. The other 2, I don't know. But then as you walk around this whole town, even though they're not for sale, I'm pretty sure there are so many €1 houses because there's a bunch of houses that are just sitting there, empty, a lot of work to be done. And if they're not €1, then maybe they're like €10,000 or something like that. But the ones that I'm going to show you today are, to the best of my knowledge, €1 houses. One of them, I could not go inside. It is bolted up. Another one of them has already been sold. And the third house is open. So I took a little walk inside and filmed it so I could show you what it looks like. Now, one thing I want to remind you about is I can only show you what the €1 houses are like here in this town. I have no idea what the €1 houses look like in, say, Sicily or Puglia. They may be of a higher quality. They may have less work to do. I have no idea. And I also don't know if there are particular levels of what makes a €1 house. Is a €1 house always a house that needs to be pretty much completely reconstructed? Or are there €1 houses out there that are shells that are pretty good, but need to have all of the work done inside? And the reason I asked that question is because there was one video I saw online where a guy was showing his €1 house, and it kind of looked to me like he had, 4 walls, a roof, and a ceiling. But some of the €1 houses and the ones that you'll see today, they are not always that nice. So I can only show you what I have been told is a €1 house here. But as you can imagine, it's €1 plus whatever other fees you have to pay, whether it's to the notary, whether it's to the council, any administration fees, the geometra, whatever you have to pay for. So some of the houses may be more preserved than others. I don't know. So on today's video, I'm going to actually show you some other houses around the town, and I'm going to show you a non €1 house that I was also looking to buy. I'm going to give you a glimpse into a variety of the €1 houses that we have here, of which, to my knowledge, only one is for sale. I'm going to very bravely take a tour through one just for you. You're welcome. And if you stay till the end, I'll also show you the outside of a house that was a €1 house that is now being lived in by the person who bought it. So stay with me all the way to the end. And if you can right now, I just remind you to please like this video, hit that little thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already for more video content like this. And of course, let me know what you think. I would love to know in the comments today what you think about this house and if you would have the courage to buy one. So let's get to it. Let's go and see some of these €1 houses here in a little town in the northwest of Sardinia. This house right here is a €1 house. And don't be deceived by just seeing the side of it, because it's a large house. Clearly it's 2 floors. There looks like you can see through that window to the sky, so it's obviously missing a roof. Here's the view from the back. The beautiful blue sky today. And here's the front. It's really hard to get a good view of this property because I'm up so close and there's a wall right behind me. This is a laneway, but you can see it's a very long, kind of more narrow building, but quite large. And as I said, I have been informed that this is a €1 house. You can see it's got this beautiful big doorway. I don't know if this is for sale, but I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to show you what the situation is when it comes to buying one of these houses. What you find inside sometimes is a disaster. Structurally, I mean, this looks like it's got some pretty solid walls. Ooh, it's windy. But yeah, you pretty much have to do everything. You might be able to see up there into it's a bit dark, but all the roof needs to be done. It's got all holes in it. Coming around from this side. I wonder if it's the same size as my place, it's just that it is wide from the front, whereas mine, you'd say enter here and have, actually mine's 3 stories, so mine might actually be bigger. But anyway. Hi friend, you hungry? Would you like a treat? Treat for being so friendly. Sure. I carry some little cat snacks with me all the time for the little guys that I meet along the way. There you go. Thanks for saying hi. Have a good day. It's just so much beauty. Like, look at those gates. If things were actually kept, like maintained. How incredible that is. And I suspect it's this house's garden. But this house here is abandoned. I mean, surely everything is owned by someone, right? I'm told that a lot of cats live in here. This window that's open, you can see into what has been left. Looks like they have the ceilings, there's a doorway there. It might go, I guess, to the rooms next to it. Over there, just one story. Not for sale, to my knowledge. I wish they just had a project to just do up every single house and then sell them. But someone's got to pay, I guess, right? All right, so here we have this house here. This was a 1 euro house, and you can see there's literally nothing. There's no roof. There is rubble, and more rubble. You would not touch it with a 10-foot pole, at least that's what I would think. But somebody apparently bought this, and that's about as much as I'm going to go inside. I don't know that this is a typical 1 euro house, but it's just the walls on the outside, and even then they are not complete. A lot of work. But yeah, the story I heard was that somebody bought this and they left and didn't come back. I suspect that is the other part of the house. So it could be a great house, really, if you did it up, but what a job. So this is actually the other house that I originally wanted to purchase. What I love about this house is that it's green. It's still for sale. But what I love about this house is that there's nobody living there, and there won't be anyone living there. It's fairly abandoned. And I don't believe there's anyone living there. And when you come out here, there is this beautiful piazza, this beautiful church, and this beautiful view. You can see it has like a front part and then a back part. And then it also has a great big garden. This property next to it has a garden as well. And this has a garden too. It's number 33. It's a pretty damn cool number. This one is for sale for around 60,000 euro. And I would say that it's fairly move-in ready. There's definitely work to do. We have up there's a bedroom, which is quite big. That's a bathroom in that window there. The front, basically there's like a whole unit on the bottom, and then it repeats on the top. So there's a kitchen down the bottom, there's a kitchen up the top, and this here is a garage, but you wouldn't really use it. You'd probably make it into another room. So I would say there would be, could be 1, 2, 3, 3 bedrooms maybe. You could probably get 4 if you wanted to. So if you want to know why I didn't buy the greenhouse, basically it came down to money. So as I mentioned, it's around 60,000. It's been on the market a really long time, but ultimately I didn't buy it because of the two choices that I had, this house was much cheaper. And this house also had a really cozy feel to it. It's a good sized house for one person, maybe two people. This one is 110 square meters. And the other one was somewhere like 160, 170. It was larger than this one. So the other one felt quite big and like a little bit overwhelming in the amount of space. And this one felt more simple and more calm. So it was an energy thing as well. But what I really, really loved and what really had me sitting with this decision of like which one is the right one was the garden out the back. It had a really good sized garden with established trees such as lemon trees, a blood orange tree, I think, a persimmon tree, and I feel like there was something else. But that garden was overgrown and just a wild garden that all needed to be, work needed to be done. But, you know, it's really, really uncommon to be in the city center and have like a really nice garden. Plus, on the second floor, it had this really cool balcony, and the balcony just looked over the garden and, you know, with no neighbors, and it looked towards the church bell tower. And I thought that would just be so nice to be out there in the morning when the sun's shining, just magical. But this one, with the price and also with the energy that I felt in this home, I ended up choosing it because of that. It just felt more right. The story of the greenhouse is really interesting too. When you enter the greenhouse, it is fully furnished. It's like a time warp. You go in there and everything, like the calendars are on the wall from like 2014 or something. I think it's been, I don't think it's been lived in for at least 10 years, maybe longer, could even be 20. So the story goes that the man who lived there with his German wife. His wife, I believe, was unwell. She has since passed away. And he moved to the city, to Sassari. I'm not sure if he moved there because she was unwell and needed more support. But they up and left, and all the furniture is still in the house. There's literally still toothbrushes in the bathroom. It is all just there. It's wild to see. All right, now this is a €1 house as well, and this one is for sale. You can see that. Vendesi. So we've got this lower level here. Everything needs work, right? The structure is there. And the door is wide open, so we can absolutely go in and have a look. Alright, let's go in and check out this €1 house. Well, I mean, you don't expect to come in and actually find it clean, right? The walls, wow. The ceiling's actually quite low. I wonder when this was last lived in. You can see the wall work underneath. Timber, door frame. Bird's nest. room in the back. What is probably a little bathroom. Yeah, there's even like a little toilet holder there. Who knows when the last person lived here? It just looks so trashed. This is cool. They've got the nice stonework around this door frame. It's quite a short door frame. I mean, it's probably about 6 foot. Looks like there would have been a kitchen in here. This has rounded ceilings. And that's really it. I was told that this garden is not connected to the house, that you can't access it, that it's property of someone else's, but at least there's a window. The sunlight would come in from there. And then you've got the stairs to go up. Should we go check it out? I suspect if I was with an agent, they would be like, you cannot go up there. And honestly, we can't really get up there. But it looks like we've got a space off to the left, space off to the right. This wall looks somewhat problematic. Roof is missing. I want to keep going up though. Let's see if this is possible. Wow. Alright, this is what you get. A room with the roof caved in. Wow. Okay, so that's all completely fallen in. And then we have this back room here. I think we have a pizza oven. This has a roof on it. Definitely not closed over. I hope you're all appreciating my efforts to come into this space that is inhabited by birds. It's beautiful. Pink and green door. Love a watermelon situation. Back room. Another window. And what did I say? It's a pizza oven. Oh my god. That was a bird. This is insane. Okay. Well, I guess this is what they use to keep the house warm as well as cook their food. Wow. I'm so glad I went up there. That was awesome. Check it out from up here. Stairs. And down we go. But could you imagine yourself living here? I could see it all finished. Got this beautiful entrance, lounge space, kitchen in the back. Could even have the dining space in here or the dining space upstairs. This beautiful staircase that leads up to a pizza oven. Bedroom at the front here, bedroom at the back, or a study or an office. All you gotta do is put your mind to it and see what's possible. And then get someone to build it for you. Well, hope you've enjoyed that little tour of a €1 house. This is what they look like. Wild, hey? Now, I suspect you can also buy this part too. I have no idea what is in there. Let's stick the gimbal up to the window. You're welcome. So the €1 house, as you can see, it is quite the ride if you want to take it. And a lot of people would say that you're absolutely crazy to go down that path. But I tell you, it is absolutely possible to redo, and I will show you that a little later. But I guess when you're thinking about it, your choices are, if you want to buy a house in Italy, is that you can buy a project, the €1 house, like I've just shown you. And, you know, all the people are here to help you rebuild that. So it's totally possible. How much it'll end up being, I guess it all depends on how extravagant you want it to be. But even if it costs you €100,000 in the end, it's still a pretty cheap house. And you don't have to do the whole thing. You just need to do it to get it to a livable standard so you can move in, and then you keep working on it bit by bit. So it's not like you have to have €100,000 to get started immediately. God knows I don't have the full amount to renovate my house. Otherwise, I would have started it months ago. Your next option, the way I see it, is that you do what I did. You buy a house like me that is cheaper, that needs renovating. There is the in-between option where you've got like a 10,000 or a 15,000 euro house, and those you cannot live in. It's a little bit better than the €1 house you just saw. Most of the time, all 4 walls are good. The roof may be mostly good, may need some repairing in some places. But generally speaking, like a 10 to 15,000 euro house will be fairly solid. The roof may be questionable in parts. Then, as I said, you've got mine, where you spend 25, 26, 30,000, and you get a structure. You've got solid floors, you've got solid roof. Even though I've got a little leak in this one, everything is pretty much solid. Or you move up and you spend 50, 60, 70, 80, or you go the whole house, 100, 150, and you have a move-in ready, livable house. But you're probably still going to want to do some work on it if you're wanting to make it your own, you know? You may be pulling down like wallpaper and painting walls. You may be redoing railing or working on the garden, or completely tearing out kitchens to redo them. You'll be upgrading. And this is obviously is going to be very different between a 60 euro house and a 100, 150 euro house. 150 euro house is probably all good to go. If it's to your taste or to your liking is another thing. But the cheaper, the 50, the 60,000 house is going to have those things that you still need to repair. But all of those options, in my opinion, are all still cheap. It's just about where do you want to start? Do you want to start at the very beginning, have yourself a project and go for it? Maybe that feels more your jam. Or do you want to actually, have a house to live in, come in, live comfortably, and then do things bit by bit? So yeah, lots of options. And if you're looking to buy a house here in Italy, I totally think you should do it. So thank you so much for sticking around. I wanted to also show you just a little bit of a snippet of what I could get from the outside of the woman who has renovated her one-euro house. Now, from all I've heard, her house was in a situation like the one I showed you. And you'll see what it looks like now. And it's pretty awesome what she's done. To my knowledge, I think she bought it last year. She's still working on it, piano piano, as they say, slowly, slowly. And I suspect she's doing it based on her timeline, based on her life, because she divides her time between here and in Rome, which is where she's originally from. And if you're thinking that it might be scary to buy a one-euro house and do it up, here is one that has been purchased by a woman from Rome. She bought this pink house and she also bought this house with the blue doors. And you can see she's started the work here. She's still working on this side. But I believe that inside it was like the other one that I showed you. I need to confirm that, and I'd love to have a look inside her place one day, but this is what she's done. Expose the stone. It's beautiful. She had this door custom made. She's got that big balcony up there. That one looks like it's 3 floors. So, not so scary. There's someone who is here to help you do the work if you want to make the purchase and make the commitment. Everything is possible. About to make another little friend. Vieni. Oh, sei bello. It's eating so quickly. It's okay. It's okay. So good, do you want some more? Can I bite you, baby? Ciao. Ciao. No, I think it's a girl, actually. Ciao. Ancora. Hai fame? Ok, ciao piccola. Piccola.